Hey guys, I had someone write in, why must we take life so seriously? And for me, uh, staying in alignment isn't about taking life seriously. There's not this program going on anymore where if I do the wrong thing, I'm gonna get punished. I don't even really think of things as wrong or right so much anymore. There's obviously clear lines to that, right? But in a general sense, um, I just strive to follow highest alignment or what my heart is guiding me to do because that's going to feel the best. That's the way that I've learned that I enjoy experiencing this reality the most. And so if I want to, if it feels so alive to chase after something that I know won't fulfill me on the deepest levels, but yet I just feel like I can't help it and I'm just going to go that way anyways, which is a lot less common these days. But if that is the case, then, I'll let myself do that because it's going to happen anyways. And as that's unfolding, there's not a sense of like, oh, I'm fucking up or I'm bad or I messed things up. I messed my whole life up or any of this kind of stuff at all. It's like we can just let go of all that for good. That's not going to help us on our path. That's not going to help us stay in highest alignment. That's not gonna, because it's just not true. It's all bullshit, So we can just let ourselves see through that and see it for what it is: superstition, fear programming, kind of like it has its roots in like fundamentalist religion, as what my sense is in this moment. Like, this is the way, this isn't the way. And here's the thing: there is a way. There is the way, the highest way, the truth. At least in my lived experience, there is that. That's a real thing. And as we mature on the path, we tend to only have a taste for the truth, and anything other than the truth, it's just not as flavorful. There's not really the compulsion to go that way anymore, whatever that way might be. Usually it's chasing after something like, or letting the ego kind of get the wheel, and the ego's going for what it desires, even if it's not aligned with truth. But if we go that way, it's not a big deal. It's like, okay, it's a learning experience. It's how we refine. It's how we dissolve ego, is by getting that experience of contrast. No big deal. It's like it's baked into the experience, and it's still happening over here on more and more subtle layers. And so we're always getting more and more refined into truth. We're always deepening more fully into what's true. And so it's not a pressure and it's not a force, though. It's not like I'm making myself do it. It's just a natural happening on the path. So here's the deepest thing. The deepest thing is just to relax and allow everything to unfold as it's going to unfold. So even if you notice you're chasing after something from a place of ego, and sometimes we don't know it until after the experience, and that was the point of the experience, to show us where we're still hooked in to ego. But regardless of what's happening, even if you can sense maybe this is a bit off, but I just feel it feels alive for me, so I'm going with it anyways, whatever the case is, can you stay relaxed in your being? Can you not be tripping in the mind? Like a lot of us, like, we get these ideas maybe from religion when we're young, or we grew up in a reward punishment kind of parenting dynamic or whatever, but we get these kind of programs in the mind installed of like, I gotta do it right or I'm fucked, and it's like, that's not it. That's not gonna help you. And that's not it. It's like sometimes when we have that program in the mind, we can just feel like I think someone even wrote, like, we could feel like in prison, like, what's happening is we're just like stuck in the mind. And um, more of a feminine approach of just, like, let's make our primary focus relaxing and letting whatever wants to happen, and knowing that whatever experience we go through is for our highest good, and is going to teach us something about ourselves, and it's going to teach us something about what's true for us. And sometimes when we're young on the path, we have to go through a lot of experiences of contrast, and we have to like look under every rock. But let's be looking under those rocks without judgment, without an inner sense of condemnation, without taking those beliefs from fundamentalist religion into our spiritual process. And like, let's not give our power to an inner critic, please. You know, it's like that inner critic, it's just not, it's not helpful. And that inner critic, all of this stuff is just like yearning for safety. We want to feel safe. We want to be, it's like we need that. We need like the Divine Mother. Sometimes I think the Divine Mother will tell us, like, we need to hear her say, child, do whatever you want. I'm going to love you no matter what. You know, and I've had this experience sometimes. I've said this to people before, but like sometimes when I'm really in ego and I know it, like in the past, I would feel the Divine Mother. She was like loving me there too. And sometimes we need that experience too, being loved when we're kind of, you know, off chasing something, you know, from a place of lack or scarcity or whatever. And a practice I would love to do is when I would find myself eating like a big thing of vanilla ice cream, Haagen-Dazs vanilla used to be my thing, you know, I would let myself just savor every bite and love every bite. And so it's like that lovingness is carried over, or would carry over into every action. It's like, no matter what I would do when I was really on this path of contrast, and it can still happen, but like I said, it's much more subtle these days. It's like I would notice like, oh, I'm loving myself here. Like I would never not love myself. I was never making myself bad or wrong. It's like, no, I'm never gonna not love me, period. I'm never gonna not like let myself relax. You know, it's like, I think that was the point of this video. The primary thing I want to say to y'all who are really getting mixed up in this whole right, wrong, good, bad stuff and letting it just torment you is, bro, just relax. Like at the end of the day, like kind of like that surfer, like, dude, just chill. Like you're gonna flow into your highest alignment automatically because you're all so conscious, you can't help it. And until that happens, more like it will happen, but then you'll notice you'll kind of veer off or whatever. But until it really starts happening for you, dude, just live a life and chill out. And know that you're in a divine process, and it's never going to lead anywhere except to you fulfilling your highest destiny. That's the only place this can lead, at the end of the day. And so this has been my experience is it just gets more attuned with truth. And what I learned early on in the path, because I had great teachers, was, like I've been saying, love yourself no matter what's happening. And be giving thanks to the contrast, be giving thanks to the experiences that are helping you know what is actually your highest and what is actually what you want. But we have to sometimes experience these shapes out, whatever we want to call these shapes. It could be like our karma. You know, there's been many times I've been like, felt like I just didn't have a choice. Like, you're going to have this experience, whether I was going to call it my highest or not. It was like, it's going to happen. And because I realized that in real time, I was like, well, I might as well really love myself through this. I might as well enjoy it for what it is. I might as well not be hard on myself. You know, I might as well be very forgiving. I might as well really embrace it. and just experience it out very deeply. And you know, this isn't some kind of race. This isn't some kind of game to win. There's none of that. This is just like, actually, it's so simple. Can you cultivate this love for yourself regardless of what's happening? Can you just, if you really want to do something, just let yourself do it and be there in a really kind way for yourself? And as you do that, as you cultivate more love and kindness and compassion and forgiveness for yourself, then the only thing that you're gonna really actually want to do is follow God and follow your highest truth, whatever that might be. But like I said, to discover that, sometimes we have to go over here and do this and then do that. And sometimes we can subtly know we're following ego, but we really just have to do the thing to really know it. You know, it's like, we got to know these things in our bones. We can't just know, like, trying to figure this path out conceptually with your mind ain't gonna work. You might be able to talk about this stuff really good, but it won't be lived. To really fall into highest alignment in your fucking bones, you gotta go do stuff. You gotta go live life. You gotta let go of the inner critic and the fear programming and all this bullshit about, you know, if you do it wrong, bad things are gonna happen. It's like, come on. It's like, that is old fucking spiritual religious paradigms. Let's just throw that shit away. And let's align with something deeper and truer and more loving and more peaceful and more gentle, that lets us off the hook, that takes our power back from that darkness. And this is the way of the light. The way of the light is not doing everything, you know, perfect at all. The way of the light is, you are fucking free to be an explorer and a discoverer here on earth. And the more you give yourself freedom to really explore everywhere, regardless of what judgments might be coming in about it, the more you're actually going to know. And the more wisdom is actually going to birth within you. I gave myself so much freedom. And I made messes and all this stuff. And that's part of it. But like, because I gave myself so much freedom, and I still do, the thing is, because I gave myself so much freedom, I've really experienced out so much in such a condensed amount of time that I don't know. I these days it's very simple for me now. Because it, you know, all that experiencing out of things I thought I wanted, it just led me to like where it's hard for me not to just choose the highest every day now. Because I know where everything else goes and where it leads. Because I gave myself that kind of that unfiltered like life or something, where, you know, I wasn't judging myself, and I was just letting myself have what I needed to go through, with love the whole way through. And so y'all are gonna end up in highest alignment. That's the only place to go. And actually, some people will say the fastest way to get there is Tantra. It's just going through, it's like experiencing out desires. Who cares where they're coming from? Ego, truth, just go through the shapes. And then you're going to get through that experience, you're going to get more refined. Some people say that's the fastest, and renunciation actually might take a lot longer. And that's old school, like renunciation, old religion, you know? You are love, you are light, no matter what's happening. And that's something beautiful to experience, is that love and light is with you. No matter what the mind is saying about what's happening, love will never abandon you. You know, the light will never abandon you. And so my advice would be just relax, chill out, dude, live your life, and know that it's all gonna flow into truth, no matter what, and that you're loved. And I don't know, hope I communicated this point enough. Y'all are loved, you know, y'all are truly loved. Follow your heart. Let the heart lead the way. And sometimes the heart will, like, who knows where it's going to take us. It's a wild adventure. It's spontaneous. But it always leads to a deeper alignment with what you really want, which is God at the end of the day. So, yeah, sending you all my blessings. Hopefully this can help loosen some stuff up in a lot of you. Much love. Namaste.